Okay, we're nearly there. I think we're live, Jane. So, all right, welcome back. Sunday evening, Mindset Explosion, episode number 30. I'm on season 3. Oh my gosh, I know. Tonight, I've been joined by the lovely Jane Mallett, and you're a weight loss advisor. Is that correct, Jane?
Yeah, nutritional weight loss.
Nutritional weight loss. Okay, and we thought we'd have a little chat tonight about, well, I guess I've put on lockdown pounds a little bit of what tips we can do and going forward, and some of the the amazing work that you do. I've just been hearing about. So, is this been quite a common thing through lockdown, Jane? With
It has. Yeah, it's funny, when lockdown started, I didn't know, no one knew what was going to happen, and I did wonder if people having time off work, those that have been furloughed, and that they would be able to make themselves a priority, not having to rush off to work and deal with kids in the morning going to school, and really sort of sort out bad habits. But actually, it sort of went the other way, and which I can understand. But people started baking, alcohol consumption and snacking went up, and people are generally finding that they've put on a couple of pounds at least through lockdown, which it doesn't surprise me. I think even guilty as charged. Actually, the first few months, that first month was really weird, wasn't it, in April? And
yeah.
But the weather was amazing, so you're sitting in the garden, and you'd want to have a beer at 5 o'clock because it felt like you're on holiday to a certain extent. So it's you look back, it makes perfect sense what happened, but at the beginning I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I have to say, all my clients have held on very well.
Oh, well done. Well done, that's good.
I got me not breathing down the neck, but
I know you can get around the house. Oh my gosh.
I know I can still find them on Zoom.
Yeah. So do you think, obviously we're going to talk a bit about mindset of stuff, and how we can use our mindset for and not go on a diet, because I don't agree with them, and clearly you don't, because we
absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess when we got sometimes these other pressures and they compete, they're there, but so let's say with lockdown, we knew lockdown, for some it may be fine, but others it might have been a pressure, and maybe it was a pressure they didn't realize was there. So I guess, and you were saying about bake. I baked some sausage rolls yesterday, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell Jane.
My skills. So yeah, I guess I don't even know if it's boredom. I just felt like
baking. Yeah. Well, it's things we don't normally have time to do, isn't it? And I think banana bread was the number one thing. It was just something different. It's relaxing. It was something you could maybe do with the kids, and you had something nice to eat at the end of it. I mean, it made perfect sense. You couldn't get hold of flour nor money for weeks.
No. Frustratingly.
Yeah, but it was I think it's a comfort thing, which is a massive thing around food, isn't it? It's we eat for many reasons, and comfort is one of them, and when it comes to you comfort eat, it's generally sweet.
Yeah, and I gotta say that's my bad habit, is the sweets. So
yeah, chocolate.
And Haribo. I cut back my Haribo. Yeah, this isn't going very good, is it? I'm not.
You're a this is turning in. Okay. This is turning into a bit of a consultation, Matt.
But I guess if we're not honest about it, then
absolutely. And it's one thing I really, really love when people come to me for help. They are so honest, and when I get them to keep a diary, and I always thank them for their honesty, and they say, what's the point if I'm not going to be honest? But you do have to be, and I think we're very good at fooling ourselves, and I know before I lost my weight, I couldn't understand why I was overweight. It was like, I eat really healthily, and fooled myself for years. So yes, you have to stand back and take a good hard look at all the habits that are going on and why.
Yeah, I think a lot of things, it's habits. We're creatures of habits, right?
We are, and you know what? Life would be blooming hard work without them. It's just the whole just down to, you know, when you clean your teeth and you go to bed and all the rest of it. You know, if we had to make a decision every time, life would be, I mean, we wouldn't get anything done. So habits are quite helpful, that they, you know, they speed up the day. But and you always get a reward back from a habit. There's always, you know, a nice thing at the end of it. And that's why, you know, high fat, high sugar things become a habit so quickly, because you get that instant, well, it's not a reward, is it, but that instant, oh, this is great, it's that kick, isn't it? It's a nice thing, which just pulls you back for more. But we know it's not great for us, so it's very hard to kick those habits, because we want that kick, we want that, and we tell ourselves it's a treat and we deserve it, and all the rest of those other mind games that go on. So yeah,
isn't it funny how that relates back to quite a lot of things, though? I mean,
everything.
you know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. So I guess, so someone that comes to see you, Jane, are they? Is it, oh, I just want to lose weight, or is there a bit more? I know you're not going to discuss clients, but is there a bit more to it than that? Are they feeling like is there a lack of confidence, or is it?
It can be everything. It can be, yeah, I mean, by the time they've got to me, they've been through a whole raft of emotions, and it can be wanting to feel better, look better, confidence. They might be worried about health. It's the whole shebang. It's usually a bit of everything. But I mean, I had one guy come to me recently who just wanted to lose weight, but actually the knock-on effect of his life, since he's tweaked his habits and he's eating better nutritionally, is just phenomenal. And he said he was always felt like he was in a fog, and he was always tired, and there was no motivation. And so he's lost a stone now in the 6 weeks we're working together, but he's more taken with the change that he feels. So he did come to me for weight loss, but actually is reaping the benefits of the whole lifestyle thing. But I think people generally come to me, they want to look and feel better.
Yeah.
And then the add-on effect of eating better, eating, you know, nutrition and looking after yourself nutritionally is always, I mean, that is addictive in itself, actually.
Well, I suppose, you know, just thinking about myself, really, when we've got more energy, it's almost like you're giving yourself more time for things.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one thing he said. You know, he's used to put off jobs and things he didn't want to do, and just getting out of bed in the morning and getting going. And when you're eating well and you're getting everything you need, and you're getting the right sleep, your energy levels, you can pack so much more into the day, and you don't have that massive lull in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know, it's the benefits are really very far-reaching.
Excellent. And it's not all about pumping. Nothing wrong with pumping iron. It's not all about that, is it?
It's not. You know, I really believe that when it comes to weight loss, it's 80% what you eat, diet, and 20% exercise. So as I was saying to you just now, you know, you can't outrun a bad diet. And I know I've spoken to a lot of people who are real, you know, fitness junkies, and they exercise a lot, but their diet isn't particularly good. And I'll say to them, what happens if you break your leg? What happens if you're out of action for a few months? Something happens. And they always, you know, they stop and think, because they would put on a lot of weight. I spoke to one guy who put on a couple of stone in a matter of 6 months because he couldn't run. He hurt his knee. So, you know, you've got to get to grips with your eating habits first and foremost. And the weight loss will speed up the weight loss. Sorry, the exercise will speed up the weight loss. Mm-hmm. And it also helps you maintain the weight loss as well. So that 20% is a vital 20%. But first and foremost, it's your eating habits, and the knock-on effects of the alcohol, the knock-on effect of the exercise just to your mental well-being and your health is huge. So you can't discount that 20%. But yeah, weight loss is 80%, in my opinion. 80% diet.
But even it's still a balance, because if you didn't have one,
yeah, exactly.
Know, no matter whether it's 80-20, you need that to make the other bits work, right? So
absolutely. And you know what? It's better to be slightly overweight and fit than underweight and not fit.
True. Yeah. So, and what's interesting, Jane, is I think this is because you're mostly predominantly on LinkedIn, aren't you? So
yeah,
I think that's where I stumbled across you, and what was interesting for me is that you have female clients, of course, and you have a female group, but you're focusing quite a lot with guys. And what kind of pushed you down, because this is within a niche, I guess, but what kind of pushed you in that direction to help us men, I suppose?
Well, it's funny. I'd always, when I started, so I started up 3.5 years ago, and my mission was always to work with men, because as I mentioned, 12 years ago I was a slimming world consultant, and I was very, very frustrated that I had a group of 130 people and only 5% were men at one time, and then men out there that need help and support, but it's difficult for them to find it. So it takes a really brave man to walk through the doors of any weight loss group, because it's so heavily female dominated, and they always did very well as well. It was fantastic when they came through the doors, but they ran away pretty quick as well if they could. And I work really well with men. I enjoy working with them. They do well, and I just feel that there's a hole in the market. They don't get the support, and whereas women do. I think with men as well, I think when they want to lose weight, they feel they've got to join the gym, or they've got to do the keto diet or fast, or it's always really drastic stuff. But actually it's finding that middle ground, that moving forward sensibly. It's boring, it's not exciting. I wouldn't sell a book with this message, but it really works, and it's for that permanent weight loss that so many men are looking for, that there's not an awful lot of support out there for them.
I know obviously we're talking about men, but you work with females as well. So
yeah.
And how you work, is it different? How does is the mindset different, or?
It's funny, because over the years I've been quite surprised how similar the things that they say, the men and women. There's not an awful lot of difference. The whole about feeling better and looking better is as important to men as it is to women. But they do have different ways, and a lot of with men you can almost, it's also like a game, a competition. They thrive on that. They do really well with, and I think that's why the accountability works so well, because I'm seeing Jane on Monday, I've got to do this, that and the other. And also another reason with women of a certain age, I'm not trained in hormones, and so that's another reason why I don't feel, as some women I can't help. If it's hormone based, then I'm not trained. But yeah, so I wanted to work with men right from the word go, but I was advised from many people not to do that. But over the last sort of 18 months, I've done that more, and it's been going really well. It's just reaching you.
Yeah, you got to follow what you're feeling in there, I think.
I know. It's so funny, because with my gut, I wanted to work with men. I mean, I'd say 30-40% of my clients now are still women. If they contact me and we have a chat and I connect with them and I think I can help them, I do. Of course I do. And I do love my female clients.
Yeah.
But on LinkedIn, that's where I focus on the men.
So, because you've talked about a couple of different diets, so and obviously being a coach myself, I know the answer, but for everyone that's watching, why, what's the difference between saying, I'm just going to do this keto diet or whatever the one is at the moment, as opposed to coming to see someone? What's the difference between that? Because I've never liked these different names diet. I couldn't see the point of them, because it just seemed like quick fix and that's it, we're done. Then I got to come back to the next one, then the next one. So
exactly. No, so anybody can follow a diet plan, and we've all done it and we've all lost weight, but it doesn't get to grips with those fundamental issues, habits, problems that are going on. So the minute you hit a stumbling block, and there's so many reasons to throw in the towel, and there's so many, got busy lives, problems coming up, then we just throw in the towel, and then we go back to our old ways. There's nothing in the middle. So, and actually, they've proved now that dieting losing weight at any stage for however much, for how long, is better than not losing weight at all. So, you know, that's not, I can't, you know, not all negative on the diet front, but if you want to really crack your weight loss and you want to be permanently in control, then diets are not the answer. I don't give my clients plans to follow. They're all different, and we tweak their eating and lifestyle habits so that it's manageable, and it's phased as well, because this is the thing why New Year's resolutions don't work, because we wake up on the 1st of January and we instantly want to be something we're not. We try and lose weight, you know, we stop drinking, we start pounding the pavements, and within 2 or 3 weeks it's just too much. So it's got to be bite-sized chunks, no pun intended, and it's got to fit around your lifestyle and what you and your capabilities as well. So if you don't like cooking, there's no point in me giving you a diet plan that makes you, you know, start chopping onions every night and stuff. So so diets do work, but it's short term, because you've got to fundamentally change your eating and lifestyle habits and really know what's going on.
So like, how long generally would a client like stay with you?
Work with me? Well, my program, my main program is 12 weeks long. So some clients do the 12 weeks and off they go. Some stay with me for a bit longer, and they'll do a monthly roll for a while. So I've some stay with me for, you know, 6 months, 9 months. It depends. They're all very, very different. Depends.
Yeah, I like that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, well, and some do I've got a one-off service, and sometimes that's enough. They'll just do the one session with me, and off they go. It's the ones, you know, people that need the accountability that stay with me for the 12 weeks.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, and I just like the way it's, I suppose the same for a lot of nutritionists, but you know, it's around them.
Absolutely.
You don't realise that. You just think, oh, what am I going to have to do? I have to eat crazy stuff, and
I've got to tell you, the scope, the range of my clients. I've had ex-vegan chefs, someone that just hates cooking and won't, you know, it's all about the microwave and everything in between. It's just that everyone is so different. So there is not one size fits all at all.
No, brilliant. So would it be a question? Let's say I was following this plan. Have I got like a list, like a shopping list? How does that work, Jane?
Well, do you know what? Sometimes if we're talking through what's coming up ahead, sometimes we do write a list. We try and, because there's, you know, the more you can plan, the better it is. So, and some people are better at this, and this is a lifestyle habit as well to develop, is just thinking ahead so you don't get caught out. And you know, it's so basic, but just getting the shopping in, just when are you going to do your weekly shop, planning that in as well. So we do. I don't write shopping lists, but I'll get them to jot a few things down if I know it's gonna, you know, ease the week, and it does really help some people to have that sort of level of guidance.
Right. And let's say I'm a chocolate lover. I don't want to give up my chocolate. Is that the end of my chocolate? How does it work? Because I'm sure that's a question.
Is this for you, Matt? Is this a secret question just for you?
I'm sure some of my viewers feel the same.
I know. I can listen to them going, no. Do you know, nothing is banned. The minute you ban something, you want it even more. The more it's restricted, the more. And this is the vicious cycle of dieting, because, you know, you go on a diet, you restrict something, and then you feel deprived and sorry for yourself, and then you gorge, and then you put on weight, and it starts again. So as soon as you say, right, you can't have that, our brain tells us, right, I really want it now. So you can't ban it. So, but it's finding out what you can get away with. So they always say, oh, everything in moderation, but you know, what does that actually mean? And it means different things for different people. So, you know, if you can get away with eating chocolate, you know, if you plan it in and say, right, I'm going to have my chocolate on a Saturday night, but sometimes that might affect weight loss, or it depends how it's going during the week. But it's the same with all these things. It's finding out how often you can have them. Daily chocolate, daily cake, it's not going to work. So but it's how often can you have it, and that's one thing that I find out as I work with my clients. But so I wouldn't say no, you can't have any more chocolate or any more gummy bears, Matt, but it's fine. Interesting, I did back in March, there was a thing called D-Chocs, which was run by the British Heart Foundation, and it was giving up chocolate for the month of March. And I ran a Facebook group for that month, and I did it as well. I started it because I wanted to do it, because I was starting to have some dark chocolate a little bit after lunch every day, and it really had a hold on me, and I couldn't sort of finish lunch without having this bit of dark chocolate. And it was really, really interesting because I wouldn't normally recommend that to clients, to say, right, ban it for a month. But it was quite a good exercise, actually, and it was very helpful because it just made you realize what a hold these habits have on us, and finding a successful way of changing it. So, and I had to do it because I was running the group. So
that's really interesting. Yeah, I was just thinking then, really, because even I suppose it wouldn't hurt if you did that every once a year or every now and then. I suppose
I'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, I gave up alcohol. When was it? For a year. I think I was training for one of my black belt exams. I thought, I'm going to just knock this out for a year.
Wow,
it was way back when people were still smoking in pubs, though. And what was interesting, we know the effects of alcohol. I still woke up if I've been out with friends and the smoke coming in or whatever, but I did feel better for it as well. And ever since I hadn't. So I don't know when smoking was banned in pubs. I wasn't smoking.
God, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was a good few years back. It's got to be over.
It's got to be 10, isn't it?
It's got to be 10 years, yeah. Anyway, but after that, I wanted to have a drink again. I wasn't going to rule it out forever, and but my drinking habit was different. So
you drink less.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, because you found a way around it. So when you're changing a habit, you, like I was saying to you earlier, that you get this instant kick from a sweet or high fat food.
Yeah.
So it's finding something that replaces that. And again, this group I was running, it turned into a bit of a snack therapy group, because people were coming up with alternatives they could have instead of chocolate, and people were saying, what about Karamak, does that count? That's not chocolate. But really you've got to think. And for me, I found these blueberry and vanilla corn cakes, which are they're all natural, but they were sweet. And that did it for me. That gave me a bit of a sweet kick, and I could do without the chocolate, and it was different for everyone. So and it might be as simple as distraction. It might be taking yourself out or doing something slightly differently than when you normally have the chocolate or whatever, because you'll find that you're always at the same time of day that you want this stuff. So that's the first thing to look at, is when you're having it. So that's all good for you. So that's just proof that, so you knew you wouldn't ban it forever, but since you've gone back to it, you drink a lot less.
The drinking habit is just different. Maybe I don't know, it's because I'm older.
More sensible.
And let's say with the because obviously I got 3 boys, so like how does it work if someone's doing changing their eating habits? Is it, now I got to eat different to the rest of the family?
Well, that's a really good question, actually, and I think most women, when they go on a diet, keep doing this diet, they eat differently to the rest of the family, and that's another reason why it doesn't last, because who's going to do that? So, but if you tweak your habits and tweak the family's habits at the same time, slowly and steadily, you switch that white bread to wholemeal, and you cut down, start having more chicken potatoes and chips, and just little things like that, because this affects them too. It's people say, I have to buy that for the kids. It's like, they don't need it either. We are actually passing on our bad habits to them. So I know it's a really difficult one. I've got a 13-year-old boy, and you know, he loves biscuits, and I do buy biscuits occasionally, but it's you know, you can't ban it, like I say. So it's finding that gradual way. But what they see you eating, and also, you know, how bad they see you with a big salad, and oh, mum's on a diet again, and it's giving out all the wrong messages. So I really encourage my clients to incorporate the whole family, because I know I've got a couple of women recently, and they both got a bit of a Diet Coke habit, and I say, well, you know, would you let your kids have that? They're like, God, no way. It's like, well, but you haven't got a leg to stand on, because if they turn around and say, I want one, and you say, well, you know, when they see you drinking it so often. So I think it's really important that we reflect what our habits onto them, and you know, we should all eat together and the same stuff. I know that's easy said, I know. How old are your children, Matt?
Well, my eldest is 11. I got the other one's 10 next month, and then a 7-year-old. So, oof. And they all eat different. It's a nightmare. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's actually, one of them doesn't like potatoes at all, so there's just no point buying potatoes half the time. So that's not too bad, I suppose. And the one likes olives and tomatoes, the other two don't. And so it's sometimes it is a bit. But if I mash and mince stuff up and try and hide it and stuff.
That's a good way. Yeah, and just keep putting it in front of them. Just keep trying it, and don't just say if it's there if you want it, and they see you eating it, and maybe an older sibling that, you know, it morphs slowly, but it does take a long time. It's tomato ketchup in my household. He can't eat without tomato ketchup.
I try and hide that. I think I loved that when I was a kid, and I don't really, just taste nasty now. So.
Oh, right, good.
I guess our taste buds change as we.
They do, actually. They really do, and that's another thing I've got. People say, "Oh no, I can't eat fish. I won't eat fish, and I don't like them." So, and we carry all this from childhood as well. Something might have happened. I had one woman who would only eat an apple if it was chopped up, and that's because her dad always did that. And it's like, just try it. It is possible. It is nice to chop up an apple, but we carry these things from childhood, and our taste buds really do change, and it's worth trying. Celery for me, I keep trying celery, and my taste buds haven't changed enough. I still can't. It's the only food I don't like.
I think it's a texture thing. I do like the taste of banana, but it just doesn't. Same with tomato. It doesn't feel right. I learned about some sensory stuff of one of my children. So sometimes we have a lot of either too much information coming. It's generally too much information or not enough. And a banana, when it's mashed in my mouth, it's like, just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Chop it or anything else.
It's the consistency.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that as well with bananas and mushrooms, but you know, keep trying. Give it another 5 years, go again.
That's it. That's great.
Bananas are great.
Yeah. So listen, it's been a great chat. So what tips have we got coming? Because I'm a bit late coming out of lockdown, but most people are pretty much out, and the kids are back on holiday. So
kids are back on holiday.
Yeah. It feels like it's been homeschooling. Oh my gosh.
5-month holiday, and now they've got no schoolwork to do.
So can we make that one up?
And a lot of people aren't going away. It's going to be a long old summer, isn't it? So my tips for lockdown, if you have put on a few pounds, you mean?
Yeah, and actually now you've just said that, not everyone, you know, some people won't go, and it's going to be a bit of a different summer all around, isn't it? So I guess we could, for a lot of people, maybe they've just come out and it's almost like they're going to go back again.
Well, exactly. I think, and a lot of people, and you shouldn't put loads of pressure on yourself. You know, I think it will be September before people start sorting themselves out in that respect. September's always a good month for that anyway, actually. But it is, it's going to be tough. But
I think that's psychological. September, great for us. It's like January, and I think because schools start a new year, I think it's ingrained in our head a little
Definitely.
bit.
Yeah, I think September's a far better month for those New Year's resolutions than January, definitely, because it's a change of season, and it's it's like a fresh start, and it's a good time to sort of get to grips with things.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you there. So,
No.
So, is there any tips? Is it to be a bit more aware, or is it kind of a question of, if you're ready, do it. If not, September's good.
Well, like I said, if you're not ready, it's funny. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, actually, because if you're not ready, then it's difficult to force yourself. However, having said that, quite often, if you get going, the motivation follows.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're stacking on something every day and you go for a whole day without it, it can be really motivational to do it again, and because you realize you can do it. So I would encourage you to make steps now, but I think you've got to look at your overall habits, and I always encourage, just keep a diary for preferably a week, but just a few days, and see where things have cropped up and why, and just work on one habit at a time. And
Right.
it might be,
Yeah.
it might be finding an alternative or distraction, but you've got to engage that conscious part of your brain, because we're ruled so much by our subconscious, and so that's why it feels like hard work in the beginning, because you're engaged in that brain. But as the habits start to change, it becomes less. It's like driving a car, as an analogy that's been used before. When you first learn to drive a car, it's such hard work, you're exhausted after a driving lesson, and now we can drive for hours and we don't even notice we're doing it, because it's we're driving from memory. So I think it's looking at habits and choosing just a couple to tweak to start with, and the main ones, the ones that are going to get you the big hit, I guess. So like your chocolate and your gummy bears. Sorry.
But joking aside, I'm thinking, just listening to you now, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these tiny little things, and it is, and you've got to change. Like I always say, is like 1% change on a boat, and suddenly over here, isn't it? So,
well, exactly. And you think, to lose a pound a week, it's 3,500 calories, which sounds like an awful lot, which breaks down to about 500 calories a day. And if you keep it down, you look at it and you can see what can be chopped. And so even if it's 250 a day, then it's still going to add up. You're losing half a pound a week throughout the summer holidays. You're going to, it adds up. It's worth looking at that long-term gain. That's what I'm always banging on about. It's not about tomorrow and next week. It's about, think this time next year where you could be. So I think that's probably my biggest one, is to really keep a diary and look at your habits. I haven't mentioned one thing, is the most important thing is sleep. Actually, if you're not getting enough sleep, then that's got to be your number one focus, because that has a massive knock-on effect to the rest of your life, and in particular what you eat and weight. And I know a lot of people have had disrupted sleep throughout lockdown. Actually, I haven't heard so much recently. I think it might be getting better, but I think that's another reason why people put on weight, because their sleep patterns were all over the place.
Mine have actually.
Have they?
Yeah, real weird dreams. I don't know where it's. Crazy stuff. But I guess a lot of that's the uncertainty. But actually, now you're saying it, I'm thinking, well, again, what little thing can I change and remold, really. So how can I get in contact? So I think I've put your Facebook page as a link, but you're going to put your website below. Is that correct? And
so my website is simply janemallett.com. I'm most active on LinkedIn. I love to connect with people on LinkedIn. That's where I post most regularly. And a lot of, I give away a lot of insight and tips and stuff. So it's, and I don't do that on Facebook so much. I'm quite quiet on Facebook now. So LinkedIn is the place where I've got most of my info and my top tips.
Brilliant. And what would happen if someone will contact you? Is it a consultation? How does that work?
It's always a free chat, always, because I can't help everybody, so I need to know if I can help them, and if they like what I'm saying. It doesn't, it's a two-way street. So it's always an initial consultation, and then I quite often, what I'll do is offer the diary delve. So that's just they keep a diary for a week and I analyze it, and then we have a 90-minute consultation, which gives loads and loads of value, and then the 12-week if they want some more accountability. But I deduct the cost of the diary delve on the 12-week if they do carry on.
Sure. Well, listen, thank you so much. I'm inspired.
I think that helped.
Yeah, my gosh, it's good. It's good. And I just, it's nice because a lot of what you said, Jane, it you know, so we're on a mindset show, but it is all mindset, isn't it? And it can relate back to so many things that, you know, in the time that I've been teaching this and, you know, through martial arts, just different, but it knocks onto everything else. So you get your mindset right for the diet that works for you and helps you feel more in control, I guess, and more confident. And as you said, it's
actually,
day life.
Yeah, and just to say, you know, because our mindset as well, it's something like, I've got no willpower and I've got a sweet tooth and all these things. We just tell ourselves those things and we believe them, but that's not the case at all. I don't believe in my willpower. And what's a sweet tooth? You know, it's just, everyone likes sugar. It's just an excuse we give ourselves so that we can eat it. And so it's changing that mindset, and that is possible. It really is. And just knowing that is actually quite liberating, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. And like I said, I think the knock on for everything else is, I wish we had as coaches, I wish we had crystal balls sometimes for
too right.
Yeah, the impact it goes on and stuff. So
yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. So
thank you.
Yeah, those that are watching, please get in contact with Jane. Definitely. So Jane, if you're dropping a website just below. All right, guys, I will see you next Sunday, same time, 7:30. Enjoy your week. Bye.